The House this afternoon is also set to consider the ratification of the African Union Convention on Cross-Border Cooperation. This is a motion by the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Matters Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. If you're just joining us at the entrance of the chamber this afternoon, all indications are at the House will be commencing a business at any given time. The Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Gladys Boss, is presiding over the business of the House this afternoon. So kindly allow me to hand you over so you can follow up on this live broadcast brought to you by KBC in partnership with PBU. Enjoy your viewing and good afternoon.
Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the officers of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose trust you have committed to our charge. Amen. First order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I wish to introduce to you a delegation of officials from the Fiscal Responsibility Commission of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who are seated in the public gallery. The delegation comprises of 9 officers from the Commission Secretariat, led by Muhammad Hamed Zailani, Director, Human Resources Administration. Honorable members, the Commission is the equivalent of our Commission for Revenue Allocation. The delegation is in the country for a benchmarking visit facilitated by the International Monetary Fund, Africa and technical assistance to guide insights on a broad spectrum of technical and good public finance practices. They are also networking with the public finance institutions in Kenya, including the Parliamentary Budget Office and the relevant committees of the National Assembly. Honorable members, on my own behalf and that of the House, I wish to welcome them to the National Assembly and wish them fruitful deliberations during their stay in the country. Thank you. Next order. We have another team of visitors that honorable members, I wish to introduce to you a delegation of students from Starehe Boys Center and School who are seated in the Speaker's Gallery. They are in Parliament for a period of 2 weeks on voluntary service scheme that runs during school holidays. Honorable members, on my own behalf and that of the National Assembly, I welcome the students to Parliament and wish them a positive experience in their service to the nation. Thank you.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, April 11th, 2024. 1. Report of the Auditor General and the financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2023 in respect of the following. New Kenya Planters Cooperative Union, PLC, New KPCU, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, Kenya Industrial Estates Limited, Export Processing Zones Authority, New Partnership for Africa Development, Africa Peer Review Mechanism, NEPAD, APRM, Kenya Secretariat, New Kenya Cooperative Creameries Limited, Rongo University, Kisii University, Privatization Commission, Unclaimed Assets Trust Fund, Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, Staff Loans Scheme Fund, Staff Mortgage and Car Loan Scheme, Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, Credit Guarantee Scheme, Financial Reporting Center, Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis, KIPRA, the Kenya Institute of Special Education, Special Economic Zones Authority, Small Enterprises Finance Company Limited, Local Authorities Provident Fund, Kenya Accountants and Secretaries National Examinations Board, CASNEB, Commission for University Education, the Kenya Scouts Association, Asumbi Teachers Training College, Egerton University Investment Company, the President's Award Kenya, Kenya Education Management Institute, and 2, report of the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority on performance of the special groups, youth, women, and persons with disability under the 30% preference and reservation scheme for the July to December 2023 reporting period, being the first half of the financial year 2023-2024. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson for the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock. As we wait for the Chairperson for Agriculture, Chairperson for the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure. Chairperson for Transport and Infrastructure. Where is GK? You have a paper to present, Honorable GK? Okay, we'll go to the next one as you get yourself ready. And mine says transport. Okay, it's a mistake. Yeah, so the Chairperson for Education. Okay, Chairperson, Departmental Committee for Chairperson of Education. It's all right, Honorable GK, member for, yes. They put it for me here, but it turns out it's not. So you're okay.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 11th April 2024. Report of the Departmental Committee on Education on its consideration of the Higher Education Loans Board Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 58 of 2022. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Next is the Chairperson for the Public Petitions Committee, led by the Vice Chair, Honorable Janet Sitiene, member for Tarbo.
1 minute. Honorable Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 11th April 2024. Reports of the Public Petition Committee on its consideration of the following petitions. 1. Public Petition number 11 of 2022 by Honorable Vincent Musyoka, MP,
regarding pollution of River Athi. 2. Public petition number 8 of 2023 by Dr. Annette Mbogo regarding enactment of legislation to criminalize and prescribe penalties for the crime of enforced disappearance. 3. Public petition number 13 of 2023 by Honorable Aramat Lemanken, MP, regarding access roads for residents of Narok East constituency. 4. Public petition number 34 of 2023 by the Honorable Timothy Kipchumba, MP, regarding the registration and dismissal of Mr. Joseph Kimeli Chebi by the Teacher Service Commission. And 5. Public petition number 44 of 2023 by the Honorable Owen Bayer, MP, regarding enhancement of house allowances for teachers working and residing within Kilifi municipality. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Chairperson for the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning.
Honorable Speaker, I raise understanding order number 127 to give a progress. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, the 11th of April 2024. Report on the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on its consideration of the Parliamentary Pensions Amendment Bill, National Assembly number 15 of 2023.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
I think that's you again, the Vice Chairperson of the Petitions Committee, Honorable Janet Sitiene, member for Tarbo.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the report of the Public Petitions Committee on its consideration of public petition number 11 of 2022 regarding pollution of River Athi, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 11th April 2024. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Okay. The one of Kainan. Okay, you have a statement? Question. The Honorable Member for Embakasi Central, Honorable Benjamin Gadhiru. You have a question on the recruitment of the National Service?
No, I don't have a question. It is the chair.
Oh, it was your question and it's being answered by the Chair of Social Protection. Honorable Alice Nganga, member for... Just wait first. Honorable Alice Nganga, you're responding to the question of Honorable Benjamin Gadhiru, MP for...
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Response to the question for statement by Honorable Benjamin Gadhiru, MP, before the Departmental Committee on Social Protection. Reference is made to your letter, reference NADCC/SP/question and statement 2024-001 dated 29 February 2024 on the above subject. We wish to respond to the question for statement by Honorable Benjamin MP Embakasi member for Embakasi Central as follows. Question number 1 was, could the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection outline steps that the Ministry of Public Service, Performance and Delivery Management is taking to ensure that NYS recruitment is transparent, fair, conducted at the ward level, especially in Nairobi City County, to avail maximum opportunity to all interested youths. The response: the recruitment process by NYS volunteers is always above board, equitable, transparent, inclusive, participative. This ensures that every interested and qualified youth is accorded equal opportunity to join the service. Among the measures put in place is to guarantee a transparent and fair process. This includes: 1. Publishing a notice of recruitment and having it circulated, advertised in a wide range of print, social and electronic media. 2. Working with the National Government Administrative Officers, NGAO, to publicize and support the recruitment process in their areas of jurisdiction. 3. Collaborating with the DCI and EACC officers in the sub-counties across the country to detect and report suspected cases of malpractices. 4. Structured spot check of the recruitment exercise by the management. 5. Data of the successful candidate is captured electronically to minimize irregularity. 6. The number of recruitment vacancies allocated per sub-county is guided by the 2019 National Population and Housing Census, Section 7 of NCI Act 2018 and affirmative action. 7. Monitoring and evaluation and implementation of the resultant recommendation. And 8. The service does not hesitate to take collaborative measures whenever irregularities are detected or reported. B. As is the case with all the recruitment exercise conducted by discipline service, NYS uses the sub-county as the focal point. Currently, the recruitment system is configured to recognize sub-county headquarters as the recruitment center. The service is not averse to the proposal by the Honorable Benjamin Gadiro to conduct recruitment at the ward level. However, the initiative would run into the following formidable challenges. Recruitment at the ward level would require a policy shift. 2. Unlike administrative unit, most wards may not be designated headquarters with requisite recruitment facilities, including centralized placed open public ground with a healthy facility. 3. The SAWAD would need more than 4 times the current recruitment budget and personnel, since the number of the recruitment center would increase from current 379 sub-counties to 1450 wards. The increased budget would go into sourcing for additional vehicle, fuel, sustaining the recruitment personnel during the exercise. 4. Use of additional resources to recruit smaller numbers at ward level instead of sub-county level would negate the principle of value for money and prudent and responsible use of resources. Question number 2. Could the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection and the Budget Appropriation Committee take measures to ensure that the operation of NYS are carried out ultimate fidelity to the law and consider withholding further funding to the NYS either through the supplementary budget or through the 2024/2025 estimate unless proper measures are put in place to address members' concern? Response: the National Youth Service, being a public entity, is not exempt from carrying out its operation with utmost fidelity to the law, specifically the service. 1. This is subjected to regular audit by the Office of the Auditor General. 2. Submit quarterly financial report to the National Treasury, the control of budget, and a copy to the Auditor General. 3. Submit annual financial statement by 30th September to the National Treasury, the Controller of Budget, and the Auditor General. 4. Is oversighted by 4 NYS Council Committee, namely Finance and Enterprise, Development Committee and Operations, Training and Programs Committee, Human Resource and Administration Committee, and Audit and Risk Management Committee. The committee report to the Council, which report to the Principal Secretary. Is oversighted by the Departmental Committee on Social Protection, and the Select Committee on Public Investment and National Cohesion and Equal Opportunity has a strong internal audit department which report directly to the Council through the Council Committee on Audit and Risk Management. Manages its financial operation through the Enterprise Resource Planning ERP system, which ensures transparency and accountability. Is currently re-engineering its process and operation with assistance from the University of Nairobi Enterprise and Services Limited. Constantly trains its staff on supply chain, finance and accounting matters. The proposal by the Honorable Benjamin Gadhiro for the government to withhold funding will jeopardize the operation of the service despite demonstrating high standard of fidelity to the law as required by the Kenya Constitution 2010, the PFMA Act 2012 and Regulation 2015, PPADA 2015, among other regulatory frameworks, which are, however, open to positive, constructive criticism to ensure that public resources trusted to us are managed prudently. The question number 3 was, could the chairperson elaborate measures being taken to ensure that the ministry does not exploit the provision of Article 223 of the Constitution to access funds for NYS recruitment and the operations, aware that the NYS has previously been used as a conduit to civil public funds.
Honorable Oundo, kindly speak in low tone so that we can all hear Honorable Member for Thika.
Thank you.
She's explaining
Madam
something
Speaker.
very important.
Thank you. Response was contrary to the proposal by Honorable Benjamin Gadhiro that the ministry responsible for the survey should not be allowed to exploit the provision of Article 223 of the Constitution to access funds for recruitment. The service does not get funds for recruitment by any other means other than the normal budget allocation from the Exchequer. The service is alive to the previous incidences of corruptions, allegations, and that is why the NYS Act 2018 introduced the NYS Council to play the oversight role. The service since strengthened internal control measures, including migration from IFMIS to ERP system. Unless there is evidence to the contrary, the service has done well in terms of managing government resources.
Honorable members,
it since the
hold on, Honorable Alice Nganga. Honorable members, kindly, Honorable Wamushomba, we can't hear Honorable Alice Nganga.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. To conclude, unless there is evidence to the contrary, the service has done well in terms of managing government resources entrusted to it since the enactment of the NYS Act 2018. I submit, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much. Asante.
Yes, Honorable KJ, what's your point of order?
Madam Speaker, mine is a quick reaction to the statement that has been presented by the chair, and I really sympathize with the chair because the matters that are to be handled here are matters that would have needed for Waziri to do a bit more than what has been presented here. Madam Speaker, the questions that were asked by the Honorable Benjamin Gadhiro Mwangi had everything to do with the fairness, especially as concerns Nairobi constituencies. And Madam Speaker, this response just falls short of insulting the members of Nairobi, because it is just making what you would call just general statements, Madam Speaker, in response to a very critical question. The question was, does the fairness apply across broad up to cities like Nairobi, where we are having our recruitment happening from one center at Nyayo Stadium, while we know even in the rural areas, this has been brought down to the sub-counties. Madam Speaker, Nairobi has very interesting dynamics. For example, anybody can carry an ID that claims that they belong, that they picked it up maybe in Kibra or Karioko or elsewhere. but that does not tell us which constituency they come from. When we have our recruitment happening in one center at Nyayo Stadium, we are totally disenfranchised as Nairobi constituencies. So, Madam Speaker, the question had been, because the malady is there, how is NYS treating that malady? Not telling us that the process was fair, while we know it was not fair and it was not equitable for the Nairobi youth in Nairobi. So we want to know, how will it be sub-county centered in Nairobi and not the generalities that have been given here, Madam Speaker? Thank you very much.
KJ, you've made your point. The Honorable Member for Beatrice Elachi, Honorable Beatrice Elachi. I'm just giving two people from Nairobi to comment on this.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, just to follow on what the member of the Greater South has said. Madam Speaker, I think what should be done and what the National Youth Service and the whole team that goes out for recruitment should do is to ensure, just the way you have done each constituency, then the 17 constituency, each of them to have their day of recruitment. And also, Madam Speaker, in that same scenario, they need now to inform us, this last recruitment, how many people came from each constituency? That, I think, was the most simplest thing that Nairobi was requesting, and I think they need to also tell us, is it a policy they only did for Nairobi, or how did they come to define that Nairobi we can bulk everyone at Nyayo Stadium and have a recruitment? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Embakasi, Honorable Ulwach. Yes, Honorable Anthony Ulwach, I can see you. Give him the mic. Give him the mic. And be brief, please, because I was just...
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I'll give you 2 minutes.
Yes, Madam Speaker, this matter is one that is very grave and central to members of Parliament of Nairobi. The crux of the matter is one that speaks to the question of equity, equalization, and equal opportunity. Nairobi County comprises more than 3-point-something million people. In terms of contributions to the exchequer and money that we contribute to the GDP, Nairobi constituency requires to be at the table where everything is being distributed. The idea that you can put 17 constituencies in one single place called Nyayo Stadium is an opportunity for people to give the opportunities that are supposed to accrue to Nairobi to other people. I have had the chair speak to the question of this decentralization would occasion additional budgetary implication. If that be the case, the Constitution itself has no limit to the amount of money that should be put in order to see implementation. Article 10 of the Constitution, and this is my final point, is one of the foundational principles under this Constitution. Nairobi demands equity. Nairobi demands to be at the table. This is the capital city, and we represent the people of these 17 constituencies. We request that you give a ruling that this CS comes before us and tells us how we can be able to get our people recruited at the sub-county level, the same way that all the 290 constituencies get. Nairobi cannot be disenfranchised like this. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, last, I'll give the Honorable Member for Starehe, Honorable Amos Mwago, and just keep it to 1.5 minutes, kindly.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, because for giving me this opportunity to weigh in on this debate about the recruitment by different government agencies and institutions. Nairobi has become disenfranchised because even when they come to the recruitment, they want to look at the back of the ID and tell the persons who are being recruited to look at the back of the IDs. And you know too well, Madam Speaker, that there's nobody who was born in Nairobi. Most people have come from up country, and it's only us, the MPs, who know our registered voters. We have the biggest number of registered voters in this country. Nairobi County accounts for 11% of the registered voters in this country. But when it comes to opportunities and these recruitments, we are left to be combined in a common area, whereas our population is so big. So we're asking, now that the government has said that 80% of recruitment for KDF soldiers and other the police will come from people who have gone through NYS. We just ask, it's only fair that Nairobi is given an equal opportunity when it comes to these recruitments, and they happen at the sub-county levels. For example, Starehe, I have 189,000 registered voters and so many youths languishing in poverty in the informal settlements. If they are not given these opportunities, they don't have a chance in life to make their life better. We have the highest number of people who have not gone to school, and these people depend on these government jobs, and it is only fair that Nairobi be considered. Even in matters of population, they be given more opportunities and more slots in these recruitments. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I submit.
Honorable Chairperson, I will just give you 2 minutes to respond or clarify.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as the norm of this House, when a question is asked at the floor of the House, the committee usually... Madam Speaker, if now we can invite the Honorable Cabinet Secretary and invite the Honorable members to a meeting so that they can be able, if they are not satisfactory with the answer that I have read at the floor of the House, so that he can come and answer to them directly and invite them to our committee. That is my suggestion, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. It's so noted. Next is a response by the Honorable Sirma, Chairperson for the National Government Constituent Development Fund. You're responding to the question by the Honorable Member for Soy.
There's a problem, sound problem. Madam Speaker, Standing Order 44C of the National Assembly provides for any member to request for the statement from a committee chairperson relating to matters under the mandate of the committee. In line with that, Honorable David Kiplagat had requested for a statement from the chairperson.
Honorable members, let's try and be silent. It seems like we have a problem with the sound system.
Yes. From the chairperson, National Government Constituency Development Fund, regarding the management of fund account managers by NGCDF board. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the above and in response to the statement requested, the National Government Constituency Development Fund board responded to the statement of Honorable Kiplagat as follows: that the National Government Constituency Development Fund board is established under section 14, 15 and 16 of the NGCDF Act 2015 as amended in 2023 as a body corporate under the Cabinet Secretary for the time being responsible for matters economic planning and development. The board is charged with the responsibility of receiving projects, proposals from various constituencies, approve for funding the proposals that are in conformity with the Act, and disburse funds to the constituencies with respect to the approved project proposals, amongst other functions. Section 22(1) of the Act provides that the board shall appoint such officers and other staff as are necessary for the proper management of the fund and discharge of its functions under this Act, upon such terms and conditions of service as it may determine. Further, Section 12(3) provides that the fund account manager shall hold authority to incur expenditure of the funds at the constituency account. The approved staff establishment of the board provides for 297 positions of field operations officers, FOO, who are either deployed to the headquarters or the constituencies as fund account managers. Honorable Speaker, on the matter of constituencies, on the number of constituencies that do not have substantive fund.
Honorable Member for Soy, what's your...
Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Yes,
I can barely hear the chair for NGCDF. Neither do I have a copy of that statement. Can they avail the copy of that statement so that if the chair is not audible, I can be able to follow? Otherwise, I might not know what he is presenting. Thank you.
Yes, you can't request, you request me, it's futile to request me for a copy. Switch off your mic. Honorable Member for Soy, it's futile for you to request me to give you a copy. You could just walk here to the clerk's table and get one. You can't hear me? I said it's futile for you to ask from your chair for a copy from me. You can walk to the clerk's table and they will avail you a copy. Did you hear that, Honorable DK?
Okay.
You may proceed, Honorable.
On the number of constituencies that do not have substantive fund account managers and what are the reasons for that, there are currently 31 constituencies without substantive fund account managers, as summarized below. In the coastal region, Kilifi North and Lamu East, Northeastern, Garissa Township and Mandera South, Eastern, Igembe Central and Kaiti. In the North Rift, Loima, Kiminini, Nandi Hills, Mosop and Baringo South, South Rift, Keses and Bomet East, Western, South is Bomet, Central, Kuresoi South, and then in Western, Mumias West, Shinyalu, Luanda, Tongaren, Teso South. In Nyanza, we have Kisumu West, Kisumu Central, Kabondo Kasipul, Homa Bay Town, Mviwa, Suna West. In Nyaribari, Kitutu Chache, and in Nairobi, Embakasi South. The reason for the constituencies not having the substantive fund account managers include resignations, retirement, deaths, desertion of duty, non-renewal of contracts, and choice of some constituencies to retain acting fund account managers. Honorable Speaker, on the measures that the board has put in place to ensure proper operations and deployment of the constituencies that do not have substantive fund account managers, in a situation where a constituency does not have a substantive fund account manager, the board assigns an officer serving in a nearby constituency to work as acting fund account manager in the constituency without one. This ensures continuation of services in the constituency with a deficit pending deployment of a substantive fund account manager. Meanwhile, the board is planning to conduct new recruitment to fill the existing vacancies. On the criteria used by the board to in the deployment of fund account managers in the constituency, including determining the order to be followed when deploying. In deployment of fund account managers, the board ensures that officers are not posted to their constituencies of origin based on the database maintained by the board. The board also takes into consideration the effect of deployment to the officer's family, especially for female officers. Security considerations are also a factor in deployment of officers. Honorable Speaker, on the plans to deploy fund account managers to the constituencies that do not have substantive fund account managers, the board is putting in place measures to deploy fund account managers in constituencies that do not have. These measures include expediting conclusion of disciplinary process for officers on interdiction and recruitment of new staff to fill the vacancies. Honorable Speaker, on the number of fund account managers that are currently not deployed and why, there are 23 officers not deployed to the constituencies for reasons shown below. On interdiction, 5. On suspension, 1. Deployed to head office or regional office, 16. On sick leave, 1. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, the Honorable Member for Soy, Honorable David Kiplagat.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. At least now I've gotten the statement, otherwise it wasn't audible. I really want to thank the chair for NGCDF for trying to bring this statement to the House, despite the inadequacy in terms of addressing the real issues. The real issues, Chair, looking at your statement alone, there are about 31 constituencies without substantive fund managers. And looking at the record of where they are, we have 5 on interdiction, 1 on suspension, 16 are being deployed to the head office or regional offices, while 1 is on sick leave. Honorable Madam Speaker, we need to get serious. One of the core developments that is happening in this country is through the CDF, and the management of CDF through the board needs to be above board. They need to make sure that our constituencies, the NGCDF, are working. But you can see the level of incompetence that is being shown by the board. We have a board, Honorable Speaker, that based on the budget, we know very well the NGCDF budget has been increasing. For the last 2 years alone, it has risen from 35 billion, and in the coming financial year, it will be around 60 billion. And on the act, they are supposed to get 5%. So you can get, they are supposed to get 5% to run the administrative affairs. So you can see the budget of the board in the last 2 years has doubled. But I can tell you, Honorable Madam Speaker, their services is so wanting. They have not increased, they have not expanded, neither have they made that their service is up to par. What I want to say is that by the time you have 31 constituencies without substantive fund managers, and you are fund managers on suspension, you are fund managers on interdiction, you are fund managers around 16 that have been recalled to the head office because they cannot perform their duties. And we have a board that we are appropriating as much as 3 billion so that they can be able to run our constituencies very well. I dare say, and I put a proposal so that we can amend the act, because the money has been increasing. Now you cannot find anybody in those board offices. You can only find them in conferences in Naivasha. You can only find them in conferences in Mombasa. The CEO of the board is not picking any call from the honorable member. So your problems, you remain with your problems until eternity, and it is time this House we step up and make sure that we have a board that is responsive to the needs of the constituencies, that is responsive to the needs of the members. So I call upon this House that we need to relook, even when it comes to the management of those funds. We need to make sure at least we have competent fund managers that have been hired so that they can be able to offer service delivery to our constituencies. Otherwise, I dare say that this report that has come is just sugarcoating. Our problems in the constituencies have not been addressed, and if we are paying a lot of money and we have increased the budget.
Thank you. Now we'll go to the next statement. Chairperson, okay, I'll give you a minute, Honorable Makali, because we need to make progress on this.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. You know, Honorable Speaker, I've been very keen listening to the statistics being provided by the chair. And while the statistics make a lot of sense in terms of where we are, I think there are about 2 fundamental questions which I think the chair of that committee needs to ask himself. In a situation where a constituency is sharing a fund manager with another one, how effective can that manager be? That's the first question. In a situation where the board, the NGCDF board members, and I think it's very clear the members are no longer addressing what is happening on the ground. they are interested in making money, which is there for the administrative purposes. I think, Honorable Speaker, the chairperson of the select committee needs to do much more than he is doing to help members implement projects. We are patrons, but when things don't work, what it means is that at the end of the day, it's the patron who's been blamed. So you find the fund managers earning their salaries.
Now, the chairperson for agriculture, you also have a response. Honorable Mutunga. Just one moment. What's your point of order, Honorable Nyikal?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As you are aware and you have severely indicated to me, I had a motion of adjournment and the time should have actually been.
I will get to you, Honorable Nyikal, you're on my schedule. Because now we are at statements. I will allow you at statements. Honorable Nyikal, we are just completing with the responses to questions asked previously. And so we're going